I have.
Yeah, you have a new movie.
Yeah, we have a new movie. It's Martyr or Murder. It's the second in the trilogy. It's a trilogy, but the first one came out already. The first one we just did as a joke because we hit 130 million with Daryl on Pink Sentiments. We hit 130 million views. So we said, what are we going to do next? So election's over. Everyone's so beaten. What do we do next? So we said, let's make a movie. So we shot the movie in 7 days in the house.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kalokohan eh. And then there were a couple of reshoots because of some controversial scenes played by Jong. So then now we have Martyr or Murder. It's the second part.
So, Senator, will you have a premiere night sa Cebu na naman yan?
Some of it was shot. No, this time we tried to take it a little more seriously because the first one was so big and unexpectedly big. So since it was so big, medyo may pressure na sa second. And some of it was shot a good deal of it was shot in Morocco.
Wow.
Where I ended up after EDSA. Well, Morocco's beautiful, so it's eye candy.
So magpe-premiere kayo sa Cebu niyan? Just
Sana,
like that? Yeah.
Sana. I don't know lang when. We're not
Hopefully.
sure. The regular run is supposed to be March 1. Start this March. So.
Malapit na, yeah. In 2
Kulang
weeks.
pa nga ng promo.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Grabe. So, we're now promoting the movie. So, I'm promoting the cookbook because it's going to be pushed in the bookstore shortly. It's sold online lang now. And then, my final edit na for the second, the sequel of Made in Malacanang. Now it's Martyr or Murder.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's why I was asking what are if your lifestyle or what.
We cover everything.
Ganon? Yeah. In Manila, people are pretty specialized for the travel bloggers, the travel.
Oh, yes.
Then there's lifestyle people, and then there's political, and then, ganon.
We're very united in Cebu.
Meron naman po, but yeah, some are really doing news. Basically, this one's news.
I'm sorry.
News, more on the news. I mean, if may babalik.
Yeah, some are political, some are
Yeah, this one medyo neutral naman, but most of the time ikaw yung nag-i-invite. So it's your content na Imee solution halos.
We're great.
That's funny. So that's good. So everyone does everything.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I ate a lot of lechon. Now I have sebo all over my mouth. Parang I can't talk. Everyone's getting stuck with each other. Mayor, now the price in Ilocos came crashing down to 50 pesos. It's a nightmare.
Sa Cebu 300 pa rin.
It's
no?
clearly evidence of manipulation, of hoarding, smuggling, and all sorts of other nonsense. So the Department of Agriculture has filed 13 cases finally, and I'm hopeful that someone will finally be arrested and pay for this. This is havoc. Now, ang kulang, bawang, ano ba, asin, kulang pa rin. And now we have a mess in the sugar smuggling. I don't know, smuggling ba yun? May pasingit nadagdagan na naman yung importation. It's a little confusing. Here in Cebu, I just met the ladies next door. So the kabuhayan is all the stay-at-home moms. It's very hard to give work to mommies with little kids. So it's always a challenge to find them work. So I'm always trying to find things for them to do and to sell. So there's some the tabs from the aluminum cans from the soft drinks. So they're using that with the ganchillo, and then in the summer we're starting again with the bugambilya, the bombil. Yeah, because the bombil they can sell it right away to the developers and also to the street vendor, and it's very easy. So it's hassle free. And then we also have the malunggay that's planted, and then if it's dried, it can be sold to DSWD for supplemental feeding and can be inputted in the nutrients.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm pushing the NutriBus. I have a NutriBus in Cebu. Kanina it was in Naga. We were serving in Naga. But we're still on pilot basis, but by this year we should scale. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Kumain.
So funny. Because we have to do 120 days. So we're in the process of assessing the areas where we piloted the 120 days. So it's a little tricky in the Visayas, clearly, because of the geographical conditions. Kasi kailangan daily. Eh, hindi naman pwedeng i-deliver house to house. So it has to be institution bounded. So we're still trying to figure it out. Because the daycare kids are not all going to school yet. And it doesn't address the 0 to 3-year-olds who don't go to daycare. So we're still trying to figure out a lot of things. It used to be kasi the old Nutri-One was in DepEd in schools.
Yes.
But the profile of malnutrition in the Philippines has changed, and now it's much younger. It's the lactating and pregnant mommies, and then it's the 0 to 3-year-old. So it's a lot younger
Very
than
younger.
school. That's the problem. And the wisdom now is that it's 0 to 7, which is the golden years for education. So kailangan maagapan before school pa. So that's the challenge now. It's much more difficult logistically because there's no place that you can bring the kids every day. They have to eat every day.
Ito.
It cannot be once or twice a week lang.
Yeah.
So that's really the challenge. We're trying to figure out all these things. So that's why we are going to be assessing in the next couple of months. Much fun. I mean, so everyone under 30 can join, and I'm not convinced. I haven't given up on the younger generation that they all want to leave the countryside. It's not true. Many still want to plant. They have farming in their genes. They have fisheries in the family. Or lubi, I don't know, they call niyog here, no?
Oh, lubi ato.
And then, yeah, they've been doing it forever. And then some are really foresters. So it's actually in our genes. I think a lot of Filipinos live by the land. That the sea is our living. So I'm not really convinced that the youth don't want to be in the rural areas, but they need to make some money, and they see how hard it is for the farmers, fishers, foresters today. So they lose hope. And I think we have to find a way to inspire them and give them hope and a future in farming. That's the important part. So actually it's very much fun because the average age of a farmer right now is 58 years old.
Okay.
So if you try to tell him, you should do if you tell him that you should do all this biotech, you should go online and start marketing, you should do aquaponics, they all look at you and like, what the heck are you talking about? We've been doing this forever. We're not about to change. So what we're trying to do is bring in the younger people who are perfectly happy to experiment. They're dying to do something different, and they're very tech savvy. And we try to take the risk out of it. Meaning, try to take the risk by helping them. I give grants of 50,000 pesos, and we try to help them with access to land because hindi pa naman sila nagmamana ng lupa, di ba? They're still sharing with the dad or the lolo or some uncle. And I try to help them with marketing. So we've given trucks and equipment also. Durian. Apparently, they've learned to eat durian from Thailand, but they want more. So I will be going to Davao to have a word with the kids and large durian planters to try and propagate it as quickly as possible. It takes some time. I tried in Ilocos, not very successfully. pihikan din it doesn't grow everywhere.
Yes.
But obviously in Davao, tried and tested, they have very good durian. So we need to ratchet up the production over there. And maybe the young farmers will be the keenest to experiment as usual. They're always the pinakamalakas sa loob naman. So yeah, the young farmers is a lot of fun. The other issue that I've been going around, and tomorrow I'm going to go to West Biscom.
Okay.
Biscom.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to see General Arevalo and the rest of those guys because we keep hearing about China and the United States, the escalating tensions in the Taiwan Straits, all these problems. But you and I know that at the end of the day, it's going to be Filipinos fighting for the Philippines. Hindi naman yan darating at pakikipaglaban sa lupa natin. Ang ending yan, Filipino pa rin para sa Filipino. So, like my father before, I think the only answer is to ratchet up the self-reliant defense program again. Like before we had our own rockets. We were putting up all the missiles. We had a lot of mortar rounds. We had started producing a lot of M16s, all that stuff. And then it all wound down, and now everything is imported, which is quite alarming. We also used to produce a lot of mini cruisers, a lot of hovercraft, a lot of GP boats, many boats that were being used, particularly in the Visayas and Cebu and Leyte region. Our shipbuilding was already there, and then the mini cruiser was already being exported, and then it was all more or less neglected. Now we realize that we need to be on our own because their foreigners should only give us what they have extra or what they call the excess defense articles, the EDA. They don't give us stuff that we need. So that's the problem. The EDA is like, old trucks after Balikatan and stuff like that. What I would like is to see our soldiers better armed, better able to defend ourselves. Kasi alam naman natin, babagsak din sa atin yan eh. Hindi naman sila magpapadala ng tao, di ba? Tayo din yan. So, you probably know, this is very personal and real to us in Ilocos. We're only 400 kilometers away from Taiwan, whereas Manila is 550 kilometers. So, kung magkaroon ng bakbakan, as a matter of fact, nagkakaroon na kami sa mga beach sa Ilocos, we're already deriving warnings not to go to the beach because there's potentially radioactive material because of certain exercises in Taiwan. Whether true or not, it's a safety precaution that we're happy to take. Nakatakot eh. We're so near.